Lucky Lefty podcast. What's good with it? ONORA boys in the building. Big week of college football left. Big week of college football coming up. We're going to talk about some of that. Talk about senior day. 45-7. Notre Dame gets the victory over Wake Forest. I didn't get the score right, but I got definitely the margin of victory correct because I had 41-3.
That's right.
In my prediction.
I had what, 56-10 or something like that.
Yeah, after the first two drives, I text you like, yeah, we're not getting 50
getting
left.
there.
Unless we get a couple of kickoff returns and a punt return or something. That 50
But we
is
did
not
have some
happening.
good special teams plays. Field goal block.
Hey, I'm about to get to I'm about to get to your three keys. You talked about special teams. As always, we are on CFB Nation, presented by Twisted Tea. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. I want to say happy birthday to the most beautiful woman in the world.
That's right.
Mother of my child.
Oh,
Best friend. Everything. Everything. You hear me? Met her when I was 17 and I never left.
That's right.
And I ain't going nowhere. Happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Tiffany Davis. Many, many more. Dude, my wife is like a card freak.
Okay.
It don't even matter what the gift is, dude. Like even when she gives gifts, she stands there like, read the card. Read the card. It's like, it's crazy. So I always have to give a minimum. I have to give her 2 cards every year.
That's right.
Sometimes
That's right.
3. Right? If I find a nice Mickey Mouse card, because she loves Mickey Mouse and Disney. If I find a nice, Disney Mickey Mouse card, that's usually beautiful. But happy birthday, baby. She shares the same birthday as her mom. Her and her mom are both on the same day.
Wow.
So it's
Thanksgiving
crazy.
weekend's lit for you then.
And then my daughter is 2 days from now.
Yeah, wow.
That's and awesome. My daughter was born on my parents' anniversary. Yes. True story. My dad tells a story. My mom and my dad were away celebrating their anniversary. I called and said, we're headed to the hospital. My dad explains it as I'm in my silk boxers and your mom gets up and starts packing. And I'm like, where are you going? And she's like, I'm going to the hospital. My father was so mad that he almost didn't come to the hospital. He was that mad. My mom was like, are you coming? He was like, no. Right? She came. And then he decided to come. And true story, when he walked in, he was the first person to see my daughter into this world.
Wow.
It was uncomfortable because when he walked in, he was actually able to see her coming out. So that was kind of uncomfortable for him. But he was literally the first person to lay eyes on her when she came into the world. That's awesome. Shout out to everybody around me. It's lit this week, like you said, Left.
That's right. That's right. And Thanksgiving. Everything.
Yeah, it's lit this week. It is definitely lit this week. Don't forget, for all your traveling needs, MALIK'S.com. Don't forget that. That's very important during the holidays.
That's right. That's like some gematria going on in your family. All the numbers lining up.
Yo, it's very it's crazy, Left. It's crazy. I cannot lie. I've listened to the Drake J. Cole joint a lot this weekend, bro. I am very very pleased. I Look, I tell people all the time when he first came out was mixtape Drake. I was like, yo, he was rappity rap Drake. I was like, I love this dude. I
Look, he
love his
coming
albums,
around. He
and
coming around.
I don't mind artists evolving, right? Because I think Kanye evolved from College Dropout.
Yeah.
He evolved. Jay-Z evolved from Reasonable Doubt. Like you go listen to Reasonable Doubt, that was just straight bar, 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 bar. Really no hooks. You know what I'm saying? No melodies. He evolved. So I think the great ones evolve. They absolutely evolve, you know. But it's like at some point you got to give me 2 to 3 songs every album where it's just rappity rap. I need some rappity rap.
Okay.
I need some hot.
He was rappity rapping.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely rappity rapping. Shout out to Chance the Rapper who bought this weekend, bought one of the most legendary theaters on the south side of Chicago, and he's going to bring live entertainment back to the south side of Chicago. He said he's about to be a Chicago Renaissance
Okay.
for the arts. And he's also in the process of trying to open up an art school in Chicago, as I understand it. So, yo, shout out to that cat, Mr. Bennett, everything. He loves his city. You think I rep Chicago? That's a dude that's like, he could have moved to LA to better his career. You know what I'm saying? All of that. That dude was like, I'm not leaving Chicago. I'm here with my family. And
So
man, I appreciate
the Chicago rock with Chance, not on the music scene right now, but just in general.
Oh, heck yeah. See, Chance's dad was a politician,
Oh, okay.
right? He was on Rahm Emanuel's staff. So he's very involved. It's in his blood, you know, working in the community and doing things for the less fortunate. So I'm not shocked that that's who he is at all. I'm not shocked at all. So shout out to him. I just saw that this weekend. I appreciate it. We're going to talk about C.J. Stroud and how C.J. Stroud might be the key to Notre Dame. C.J. Stroud might be the key to Notre Dame. We're going to talk about that in the second half. Left, what he said yesterday, I was like, okay. Let's get to this game, Left. Your 3 keys, how did they work out? You started out with special teams. You said you needed 2 to 3 plays. And Marty Biaggi and the special teams definitely gave you that.
Yeah, with the onside recovery coming out, also the field goal block, you got to see, you know, the expansion of what that unit has been able to do over the course of the year, starting slow and then being able to pop off successful surprise things on special teams to make game changing plays. You know, it's exciting to see, and we needed that, you know, especially ending the year out. And also, in that game, needed the momentum. Now, we didn't take advantage of the possession after the onside, but to have the field goal block just shows how together that unit is becoming. And shout out to Marty Biaggi of still finding creative ways and having the trust of Marcus Freeman to be able to go out there and call those type of things. And special teams executed, so those guys are playing well for Marty Biaggi. Said Sam Hartman had to have like what 4 or 5 touchdowns. He had 4,
Or
and I think you know that definitely came towards the latter part of the game, the second half. But you know, I think he was feeling the moment of being around his former team. I think he had a lot more smiles than he should have in the first half. He was smiling too damn much. Game was too close. But you know, I get it. You was there for 5 years or whatever, and all of that, and you got closer on the touchdown record. And you know, we Notre Dame has done a great service for you. And I think you know that your probably season highlight is being able to beat your former team like that. Because I mean, you didn't do much else. You know what I mean? So I think it is a good ending to see Angeli get in there and to make some plays. I think what he's even 4 for 4 on touchdown drives and his opportunities to get in there. So he for what he's given, he's done everything we've asked him. So you can't complain about that.
Lucky Lefty podcast talking about the big win. Notre Dame, the offense wakes up 45-7, as you said, Left. Sam Hartman, um, 4 touchdowns on the day, and Sam Hartman didn't play spectacular. I think early on there was some things there, and I want to point to something a little bit later that I don't know if everybody else saw in the broadcast, but it kind of confirms some of the things that Malik has been saying concerning a certain wide receiver. So we'll get to that. Shout out to the young offensive line, Ashton Craig and Billy Shrouf, their first starts. And let me tell you something. Look, Left, I was watching this game. I didn't care about any of the seniors. I appreciate what they did, but I really didn't care about the seniors, man. I wanted to see the future. That's what I want to see against Stanford, the future. And Notre Dame fans, when Brady Quinn said that this year's team was the most talented team at Notre Dame in a while, and I called him to the carpet and said that's cap. The reason for me saying that is that I knew next year's team is going to be far more talented than this year's team.
That's right.
Less experienced,
But
but
more
far
time.
more talented than
And the
this year's team.
experience.
So Keidron Young, heck, that dude is ranked as the third best running back in the nation.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put him in the same room with Jeremiah Love? That's what we doing?
That's what we doing.
And Jadarian Price? Look, man, let me tell you something. Dylan McCullough, I need you to still work on them picking up blitzes. Because another mistake, we had a running back come all the way across to
Ooh.
take the outside. And here's the linebacker. It's inside out, Left. I didn't play running back, but the rule is inside out, right? Where you're
You don't
picking
want
up
to pass
blitzes,
up
right?
no color, man.
Huh?
You don't want to pass up no color, man. You running past color to chase color out way out there. No, no.
Mm-hmm.
You hit what you see. Don't
Yeah,
run past nothing now.
that's right. You take the inside and the outside dude, that's on the quarterback.
That's take the most dangerous man. But definitely don't pass up color because if you do that, the best thing you can do is hit the first thing you see because it's probably the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You start passing dudes up, they hit somebody way over.
That's crazy, right?
Football happen too fast, you gonna be the reason. So
Yeah.
I think the running backs will get better in that. I think Jadarian could insert himself in a bigger role if he was able to pick up the pass blocking going into next year because he looked like he could pass block him up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was
I wouldn't
very,
put it on Jeremiah Love just yet. Let him do
yeah,
all the explosive stuff still. But if Darian Price can get some time next year, he learned pass
man,
block.
man, look here. Jabron Payne and Devin Ford better have some real thought-provoking conversations with the people they love. That's all I'm gonna say. I know what's coming in that running back room, and I know what's there. You can turn your head all you want to. Hey, they might end up fifth and sixth on the depth chart, my friend.
Jabron Payne has won the Spring Player of the Year.
Hey, Left. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what it is. Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, Keidron Young, Aeneas Williams. That's 4 studs. I don't know where everybody else falls in that room. I'm just telling you what's going to be. And they're coming in early too. Early enrollees. Oh yeah, yeah. But shout out to Ashton Craig and Billy Shroud. They weren't perfect, and this is why the future is bright. They weren't perfect, but they fought. That's all you want to see. All your interior offensive linemen have to do is compete and fight.
That's right. They just have to come in and just do their job. They don't have to do anything outside of that. And I think if they do their job, it'll show and they would get, properly congratulated for it.
I mean, Cam, look, Cam. I mean, not Cam, but Sam was double clutching, double pumping. He had plenty of time to throw. Plenty of time to throw. And
Yeah,
it's
I
way,
mean, Sam letting guys run wide open downfield 10, 20 yards and he hesitating. Why?
yeah,
Let it
yeah.
go. Let that thing go, man.
So, like I said, I was looking at the future. Everybody's worried about. I think Blake Fisher would be back next year. You have to replace Joe Alt. But honestly, this is the weaknesses this year, the perceived weaknesses. The wide receiver room is going to be a strength next year, bro. Like, 'cause your young wide receivers went through their growing pains. They went through their growing pains. Now, this is my thing. I don't anoint Jaden Thomas and Deion Colzie as starters. I don't. They got to earn that. You got to earn that. I'm sorry. Jaden Thomas, you can't stay on the field. Deion Colzie, you can't stay on the field. You can talk about the growing pains of these freshmen, but they produced as freshmen. Even with their mistakes, they produced. Okay? What did I say last week? This whole narrative about Tobias being a bust. Let me get to this right now. Let me just pull it out the package right now. Everybody talking about Tobias being a bust. This dude is averaging 20 yards of reception. I don't know too many busts that average 20 yards of reception left. Okay. And I said if they had developed him this way last year and let him give about 15 to 20 receptions, averaging the same, the narrative on Tobias Merriweather be totally different. Now, let me point out what I saw. This is all Sean Davis. First of all, on the touchdown pass to Tobias, Tobias always has to wait on the ball when it comes to
Yeah,
Sam
he
Hartman.
was open.
Always.
He was open like 10,
Which
20.
is why I said he would prosper if he played with you or Deshaun or Ed. Quarterbacks that could really stretch the field. Tobias, y'all would be looking for Tobias like every third play.
I mean, it's getting silly at this point. When you look every game, he's just running, just one, and teams is giving him the 1-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like teams are respecting his speed at all, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm by guys, and
Yeah.
you're double clutching like you don't know if I got the separation. Is crazy.
Like I was actually there, I wasn't there, but B Driss told me like Sean on that play, Sam threw the ball so late. He was like, that dude's running that post. Like when you see him make up the difference on the corner, let it go. Because you're not about to overthrow him. Just let it go. And he waited for
Tobias'
him
whole
to actually
body was
come out of
damn
his
near
break.
turned around,
Yes.
looking like bro, put it over the shoulder. Like you putting it, I'm gotta turn all the way face the defender. It's like abuse at this point. We're not giving him what he needs. And you
Yeah.
know, I just think it goes to the whole like we gotta have talent in that position. We gotta get guys that we have to tamper down and polish and shape. We get these guys that have already maxed out their potential.
Yeah.
Even Jack Home maxed out potential. He was just good at what he was able to do. We need some untapped potential where that can grow into our offense. We can style it to what they do well. Because right now we got plug and play guys at the QB position, and that doesn't win championships.
Yo, it's crazy. So let me get to the meaty stuff. Did you notice after Tobias caught the touchdown, everybody comes down to celebrate, and 10 runs into the end zone. Tobias ran straight by him.
Yeah,
No celebration. Like he ran straight by him.
yeah. It's
And I'm
like,
like,
dude,
whoa. Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, it might be something to what Left is saying. Like, dude, we don't rock with each other. Like, at this point, man, I'm just waiting for you to graduate and go. Matter of fact, put Steve in the game. You know. But I look, like I
it's
said, that's
one of
something
those
I
things, man. It's like, what do you expect Tobias to do? Say thank you?
mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, it's about damn time. And I think it's just one of those things where Tobias it's just too late. You know, when you do all the right things for your girl, but it's just too late. You already did it. It's already over.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to recoup now and give me gifts and give me touchdowns and it's the end of the season. This ain't even an important game. This ain't Ohio State or USC or Louisville or Duke. This is Wake Forest. And you throwing me touchdowns now? No, man, you got to skedaddle because it's too easy for me to even be thankful for it. It's just like, man, I needed 20 more of these this season. And it's just a shame that you waited this late to just start giving me garbage touchdowns.
And see, that's why I laugh because people, somebody in the chat mentioned Deion Cozy. I'm like, dude, Deion Cozy, I don't, the dude doesn't play. I don't care about that. He ain't taking no snaps from Tobias. Once again, you feel the way you feel about Tobias. The dude is averaging over 20 yards of reception. Where do they do that at? Who else has the ability to do that in the wide receiver room? And like I said, Tommy Reese did a horrible job developing him and allowing him to go through freshman mistakes last year. Horrible. Horrible job. And the only reason Notre Dame fans were hyped is because the buzz came from inside the Notre Dame program. If they don't say anything, he's just a freshman like Braylon James. Nobody's saying anything about Braylon James. They're allowing him to develop, right? He's supposed to have super upside. Nobody's, preseason like, oh my God, Braylon James is killing in practice. We ain't hear anything. But they're just letting him develop. If they had done the same thing with Tobias, nobody would have been coming in expecting that dude to take. I wouldn't be winning an easy $100 from a Notre Dame fan talking about he was going to have 80 receptions and 1,000 yards.
And that's the problem. It's just the fact that some guys have plans and some guys are guys that are on the roster, and it's apparent.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that made surprises this year, Jordan Faison, he ended up gaining a lot more respect because, quite frankly, nobody else was stepping up.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Angeli hit him on the fade route. He was wide open on the same route with Sam Hartman, and Sam Hartman underthrew the ball.
No, yeah,
it's the same route.
And that just goes back to talent. But what makes the difference in this case is that receiver room is still underdeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in the world Jordan Faison is the primary undiscovered talent in the room. He shouldn't even be. He should just be like, oh, okay, we didn't even know they had this kind of talent and walk-ons, because the main guys should be the main guys. There's no main character in that receiver room. So maybe there is a disconnect where Sam probably feels the same way. He's like, man, I done made a lot of things happen, but this receiver room, I just don't have a connection with. Maybe it's the flow of the game in which he, wants to play conservative, or it could be many different factors. But for Sam to have such career seasons at Wake Forest throwing the football, and then to have what he has at Notre Dame, which is something has to be there as a wedge between the two, because essentially on paper, you would think Sam would solve the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You're just looking at paper being like 12,000 yards and being in the top touchdown total in the country in college football history. You would think that would translate.
He moved up to third.
Yeah, you got 50 plus games started. I mean, come on, that's supposed to be an easy transfer of skills to this Notre Dame offense, and it wasn't. In fact, it only highlighted that you almost made the problem worse, because now we got guys running wide open. That's like, dang, we can't even, not even this is solving it, But I also think that goes back to you can't avoid putting talent at the QB position.
Yeah.
You got to stop putting these guys that are just capable. You got to put talent in the position, or the position just can't perform when it's needed to perform, because you got other pieces around it that need that position to be on top. What did LSU do? LSU got 2 first-round receivers, and they need a quarterback of talented proportion to make it activated.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Jaden Daniels throwing for 600 yards a game, 400 yards total. Just having ridiculous because he's got the talent around him. Tobias has the talent to produce a lot of numbers, but we don't have the talent at position to get it done. That's just what it is. And you can say you love Sam and all of that, but when it required talent, he wasn't capable of it. And it could be, you don't want to put it all in one position, but it is in this case. I think if you put a talented quarterback with elite arm skill like a Shador, if Shador went to Notre Dame, we wouldn't have a receiver issue because Shador had blocking. So you would see a lot more from our receivers, who, in my opinion, have been more open than what we probably given them credit for this year. Yeah, there were times where they probably wasn't given the effort to get open after a while, but in those beginning parts of the year, yeah, everybody was open. Tobias been open from game 1 to game, 11, 12 now.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't never not been open. It's just a matter of we giving him the opportunities, and we just haven't been able to do that at the level in which he's capable of. Tobias could give us 1,000-yard season easy, 10 plus touchdowns easy, especially because we run the ball. Look what play action did. Sam was like 8 for 11 on play action with like 2, 3 touchdowns
Mm-hmm.
on play action, and we only did it 11 times. That just tells you that that's not even enough. You know, we should do it so much until there's a ridiculous stat that we run the most play actions in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because why not? We got one. I mean, how many times are you seeing teams load the box for us to run right into it? But Aldrich estimate. I'm talking about right into it. Obvious. I'm like, this is a good setup for play action. Every time we go out there in the heavy sets, I'm like, man, it's a good little play action set. And every time what we do, right up the middle, right up the middle, right. No even hint that we might switch it up. 3 runs in the middle. What do we see in there, Coach? You want them to have another player added? I mean, what are we trying to prove? I think it's like maybe we're trying to prove too much in running the football instead of just giving what the defense takes. I'm watching.
That is the 3 keys and how they turned out. I just want to point out what I saw on the broadcast. You know, hey, maybe I'm stirring the pot, but I know what I saw. I know what I saw. Ain't no love lost between 5 and 10, based upon what I saw. Like, no, 5 cannot wait to get to the off season. Like, yo, because Kenny Minchie is always, man. Kenny Minchie, remember preseason was like, yo, these quarterbacks and these wide receivers on this level, man. Like, yo, like you throw the ball and you have to be right there, accurate, and da 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 da. And it's like, okay, all right, I hear you, I hear you. And like you said, the development. I think Gino Goodouli's, in my opinion, left. Gino Goodouli's value has been shown in what we've seen, regardless of who he's playing against. What we've seen from Steve Angeli, it's like, okay,
Yeah, I mean, Steve Angeli has done a great job of just being prepared, man. I think for the effort that he's been able to give, he could have easily taken these little reps and played terrible, and just been exactly what some people would have thought. But I do think for what he's asked, he's proven that there's some sort of consistency outside of the starter of guys that are still working to be in the weights. And Steven
mm-hmm,
Jerry's proved that, done it confidently. Now it ain't been against nobody, and he's had the better team and everything at his disposal. But that's what you're supposed to do. So it's good for him. He was able to do that. But I didn't know we was giving Sam 1 to 2 million to come for this season. I didn't know that.
let me explain this, dude, because We did a show called The Blame Game. And I told people, man, I'm not going into this whole offensive coordinator blaming him for Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman hasn't played. He's played bad. Ain't got nothing to do with the OC. That pick six against Clemson had nothing to do with the OC. Nothing. Him missing the wide open receiver in the end zone when they were down there, when Gino Guidugli is in his butt on the sideline, like, dude, you got to throw it. That ain't got nothing to do with the play call. That's Sam Hartman playing bad football, which he's played up until this last week. And he didn't start off the game playing that well, to be honest, in my opinion. We're not going to play this blame game. Let me tell you why, Left. Ron Zook is a horrible coach, Left. Horrible. Great recruiter, horrible coach. You know when Ron Zook really good, Left? Let me show you what playmakers do. Ron Zook looked real good when he had Rashard Mendenhall, Juice Williams, Aurelius being a great offensive line. Oh, Ron Zook looked like a genius, didn't he, at Illinois? Didn't he, Left? But as soon as that talent left, what happened? That's why I say, I don't want to hear nothing about Jared Parker. You just said it, Left. You just said it. Get a quarterback that can make the difference, and we won't be hearing about Jared Parker. Nobody can talk about Jared Parker. You go get a dude at quarterback, Jared Parker in this offense is averaging 37.5 points, Left. That's the most points in like a decade. And cats want to sit up here, oh, Jared Parker, Jared Parker, Jared Parker. And look, especially going up in the schedule next year, please, why go pay $3-4 million for an OC against? You got a quarterback. Train them up. You got three quarterbacks lined up.
Train them up.
You got three quarterbacks lined up. Three quarterbacks lined up. Offensive talent. Dude. Did you see Eli Raridon? Eli Raridon looked pretty good, right? Against Wake Forest. Eli Raridon was wide open. Left. Eli Raridon was wide open against Clemson about 3 or 4 times. 10 didn't throw him the ball. That's not Jared Parker's fault. See, that's why I love when I get like the little steals and the little video cuts of the All-22, because it tells the truth. See, and when everybody wants to sit here and like give excuses for 10, like, oh, 10, it's Jared Parker, it's this, it's that. He incompetent. The quarterback's been incompetent. That's who's been incompetent, because he's made bad decisions all year. All year, he's made bad decisions. And if you want to forgive, this is what upsets me. He ain't even a Notre Dame dude, Left. He ain't even a Notre Dame dude. And Notre Dame fans will throw this dude a life preserver and make excuses for him and have zero empathy for an offensive line.
Zero.
None. That's learning a brand new system and learning a third brand new ideology in 3 years. No empathy for the offensive line. But we got to protect Sam Hartman. He's played like trash.
Yeah.
He's played like trash. But the fan base wants to rally around him like, oh, no, it's because they broke him. Dog, you a veteran quarterback? How can you be spooked? They've used words like broken, spooked. You ain't a dude.
Not 50 games in. You 50
games in, and they talking about you being broken and spooked? Man, stop.
50.
Stop.
Like, these people understand most kids probably get 18 games started in their whole career.
I'm not doing that.
18. Hell, I only got less than 5. Sam got over 50.
Yes.
You know how many defensive snaps and players and schemes and game plans and clutch moments and game-like situations, and 50 plus?
50.
There's nothing the man ain't seen. And you tell him he got broke? No.
The words used and what they broke him?
Because first of all,
if that's the case, that's embarrassing.
Wake Forest offensive line has never, ever, ever, ever been at any point better than
Man,
Notre Dame's line at its worst during Brian Kelly or Marcus Freeman's era. Ever. Came Madden and all. And you telling me that they made him worse? No way. No.
and he got spooked out of after an interception. What are we talking about, man? That to me, is the most upsetting thing. Like, let things be true, right? Like when we did the blame game show, dude, you can say, dude, O-line hasn't been good at certain points. Sam Hartman hasn't been good. Jared Parker hasn't been good. Okay, you point out those facts. The fact of the matter is they're averaging 37.5 points a game. That's a fact. That you can't dispute that. Now you can sit up here and talk about what do they do against bad good teams. Okay, that's fine. They're averaging more points than they have in over a decade.
They definitely giving him a
You
better
can't.
treatment.
So you can't take that away from Jared Parker. You just can't say, well, that doesn't have anything to do with Jared Parker. That's a fact. That's a fact. So if we're going to talk facts and evenly apply everybody being bad or responsibility, then be fair as well. I just pointed out, I can give you a list of average coaches across all sports. Zach Taylor is an average head coach. But gosh darn it, he looked real good with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Now you know, okay. Wait a minute. What was Zach Taylor before Joe Burrow got there? What was Zach Taylor before Joe Burrow got there? Answer the question, Left. What was Zach Taylor
rookie coach?
Okay.
Rookie coach.
Joe Burrow is out. We're about to see who Zach Taylor is. Don't sit up and act like Zach Taylor is like Belichick, the big walrus in Kansas City. He ain't on that level, dude. He's not.
He's not on that level, but don't
He's
say he's a bad coach now.
Wait, did I say he was bad? I said he's an average coach.
Oh, okay.
I said he's an average coach. And I said I can point to average coaches across the entire sports landscape that look darn good because they got really talented players.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all I'm
There's
saying.
A lot of players that make coaches.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So while we sitting up here worrying about who's the OC, I don't give a darn who the OC is. If that quarterback position at Notre Dame does not elevate, it doesn't matter who the OC is, bro.
It don't matter, yeah.
Especially against good teams.
You're a bad OC if your quarterback stinks.
It won't matter. Yeah. As you eloquently pointed out at the beginning of the show, it won't matter, Left. It won't matter because the talent's there on the offensive line, the talent's there in the running back room, the talent's there in the tight end room. Okay, the wide receiver room is young. Cam Williams and Tobias, Braylon James are the three speedsters that can take the top off the defense next year. Hopefully, they develop and they can do something.
That's right.
Then you got the inside guys with Jordan Faison, Jaden Greathouse, and Rico. And it's not like
we done moved in. We done moved into the nice luxury house and got the smart computer and the smart refrigerator with the clap on lights.
All
we
of that.
Don't got nobody to wire it to activate it.
All of that.
Can't nobody turn on the nice what do they call it? The blinders with the electric and they just go. No, can't nobody fix it. Can't nobody put it in.
You know what? I stopped myself several times from asking you this question, Left. But on this day, I'm going to go ahead and ask you. What would you have done with this running back room, this offensive line? In the same wide receiver situation, if you had Tobias and Jordan Faison with this offensive line and these running backs, how many shots would you take a game?
Oh, it would be like baseball. I'm either getting home runs or strikeouts. I'm either taking bombs or I'm handing it off. That's it. I might hit some deep overs with Faison and hit a post over top the opposite direction with Tobias. It would be like Wisconsin with Russell Wilson and Nick Toon when he had Melvin Gordon and James White.
Absolutely.
Them boys was taking shots. And the one white guy they had, they always got the one athletic white dude that, I mean, he was killing it. It was Alcatraz or something like that. He was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Batum. It was just like that. Cause
No, you
that's
talking about Aberdarius. You
Aberdeen.
call him
Yeah, yeah.
Alcatraz. You call him
Aberdeen.
Alcatraz, bro.
Aberdeen. Yeah,
You talking about
Aberdeen.
Aberdarius. Aberdarius was
Oh,
sweet.
he was nice. He was a trip.
Aberdarius was sweet.
Oh yeah. So, it would just be. I mean, that's what made during that time so
He
nice
said
because
Alcatraz.
not only was it good football, it was tough football, but it was exciting.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
got Russell back there, he'll run around, he'll throw it deep, and
yeah,
and the coverages were predictable.
yeah.
It's one on one deep because you so worried about the run game. It's one on one and hope you can catch up type of plays. We had a lot of success early on with Will because what did teams do? Load the box and press us on the outside. It just so happened we got Will Fuller out there. So he get off that little jam. Oh, it's nothing behind him. And if you can't make a team pay, they'll keep doing it. And that's just the rut that which we've gotten into is that teams started to play us differently, real early. Because
Mm-hmm.
they're like, listen, like, we can't give up the bombs because that can come out at any point. So we got to stay a softer shell, which helped our run game. So for us, play action would be premium. I wouldn't even need to feel as if we need to go too much shotgun until teams can dominate us in the trenches. But other than that, rollouts and play action passes, it would look like the early 2000 Big Ten football with Troy Smith and Juice. That was heavy play action and running up. It wasn't no spread. Why? We already got 3, 4 tight ends anyway. We under the center, left, right, taking shots. It would be so sweet.
Hey, Coach, Coach Freeman. By all means, if you need me to send you the film of Illinois and Juice Williams going into Ohio Stadium, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. You know how to use a run game with a talented quarterback and
Deuce Knight with Terrell Pryor
talented
film
run.
from Ohio State. Call Tressel. Be like, Tressel, what did you do with Terrell Pryor? Because that's what we're going to do with Deuce Knight.
Yeah,
Terrell, everybody knew Terrell couldn't throw the ball that well, but hell, it didn't matter. He was 6'6", fast as heck, and had an arm when he needed it. And they had the receivers.
yeah.
Teddy again.
Someone pointed out
Smith.
the offensive line again. And we get to the grades right after this. We are not Marshall, always tapping in with us. We appreciate you. When Michigan realized they couldn't outspeed Penn State, they turned and leaned on their massive O line and ran it 32 times straight on the road. We came up with excuses for our O line. No one came up with excuses for our O line, but once again, I ask you the question: name the game that Notre Dame didn't have a chance to win. There's only one
You
game
can't name it.
you can only blame the O line for one game, and that's Louisville. Every other game, the O line played good enough for Notre Dame to win.
I would say that, yeah.
Period. That's all you can ask your O
Because
line to
our
do.
defense kept us in every. It wasn't a game where our defense just couldn't stop the bleeding and we just had to shoot out. It wasn't no shootout. We
That's
had no
it, bro.
shootouts this year. None.
They see the offensive line in Notre Dame is always the low hanging fruit for fans, bro. It's the first offensive line. You know why? Because Notre Dame ain't got nothing else in big games offensively. Nothing else. There's nothing else you can go to. You can't lean on that star quarterback because Notre Dame hasn't had one. They haven't had a difference maker at quarterback. So the low-hanging fruit to blame every time they lose a big game, the offensive line didn't do their job. That's weak. That's weak. Because the job of an offensive line against good teams is to give you an opportunity to win, and then your best players make plays. Show me the playmakers. Show me the playmakers in the big game. They don't have any. So all that weight that's always on the offensive line, I ain't sitting up here saying game by game you can't critique the offensive line.
Because who was your player
But
of the
there
game
is
Ohio State week?
the Ohio State offensive line is mid. Mid. But it's real easy when you got Marvin, bro. When you got that chess piece. The Georgia offensive line just got 3 starters back this week, Left. This week. They've been mid. That Georgia offensive line was mid when they played Auburn. Mid early in the season with a young quarterback. You know who they had to go to in the fourth quarter? 19. 19. I don't care if you double them, you bracket them, you zone them, you can't stop them.
Can't stop him.
You can't stop them.
That brother nice.
That's it. Notre Dame has been playmaker deficient. Period. Against good teams and in big games. They've been playmaker deficient.
That's the question. Who are you looking at and anticipating and watching when you watch Notre Dame? You can't name a player.
No.
Like
the offensive line has to dominate.
You cannot name one player. Even Louisville had a number of player they wanted, number 2 or whatever, the receiver.
Jamari Thrash.
Even they got a player.
That dude played Jamari Thrash. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how smart. This is where coaching comes in. Jamari Thrash played against Miami with a fractured left hand, bro. He was dropping passes all day, and was mad. But he got a fracture. As soon as the ball hit his hand, you could tell it was painful. So he couldn't bring balls in. I think he was targeted 8 times. He ended up with maybe 2 receptions or something. He dropped 4 passes. It was crazy. But you know what Brom did? He went tight end crazy and used his chess piece to get his tight ends open. Now, if you want to go with Jared Parker for stuff like that, being creative, using motion, using people to get other people open, have at it. Have at it. Have at it. Have at it. But we got to stop, man. We got to stop as a fan base, just automatically grabbing hold to the offensive line, dude. Because that's the only thing, that's the only chess piece we've had in the last decade going into big games. Our offensive line, our offensive line, our offensive line. That's it. And if the offensive line doesn't dominate, it's the offensive line's fault. Where do they do that at? Where does that happen in elite football programs? Where? We got to do better, man. We got to do better. Because we've seen incremental improvement this year, in my opinion, right? Left, what we asked for this year, this is what we said. You brought Sam Hartman here to win 3 games.
That's right.
And in the other games, we want to see Notre Dame treat inferior competition the way treat them like they are who they are.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has done that. They've done that.
Facts.
The terrible teams, Notre Dame has crushed. That's an improvement from the last time we were watching Jack Cohn having to hit Kyron Williams in the fourth quarter against Toledo, barely beating Virginia Tech on the road, and barely beating a 4-win Florida State team in overtime. Because that's where Notre Dame was. Everything was a struggle. Everything. Now you've gotten to the point, coming off disappointing losses last year to Stanford and Marshall left, to where now Notre Dame is taking the next step and it's like, okay, when we face teams that we're gonna smash these bad teams. Now the next step is we just can't compete with the good teams. We have to beat them. We have to beat them, right? Remember when everybody laughed at us early in the season, we looked at the schedule and we said, hey, y'all, this USC game, this ain't a tough game. Because USC is trash in the trenches. This is not a tough game for Notre Dame.
That's right.
USC doesn't have a number 1 first-round pick receiver like Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison was the only receiver last year that was turning Benjamin Morrison around. He turned him around twice. That's because he's a dude. Only receiver I've seen give Benjamin Morrison problems since his time in Notre Dame. The only one. Only one. USC doesn't have that receiver this year. They had to go get Brendan Rice from Colorado. So it's a lot of ways you can look at this season. Moving forward, in Stanford, I want to see the youngsters left. I want to continue to see the youngsters. I want to continue to see Eli Raridan shine.
That's
I want to see Cooper Flanagan shine. I want to see Ashton Craig and Billy Shrout get better and fight and shine. That's what it's about. Dude, this season is what it is.
This season, season is what it is.
Dude, wasting conversation about what has happened, it is what it is. You wasting breath trying to apply blame, all that stuff. And no, the chances of Jared Parker going somewhere are slim to none.
Yeah.
So sitting up here talking about that is wasted energy unless something miraculous or different happens with people Bakwa in the building. That's just the way it is. As much as you want to give blame, give credit. That's 37.5 points a game. Steve Angeli's looking good. So the Geno has value. And if that dude is improved, I expect that Kenny Minchie has improved as well.
That's right.
And I expect CJ Carr is going to take steps forward when he comes in next month or in 2 months. Or if he decides to come in early and get 15 practices during the bowl prep. That's value. So as upset as you want to be about this season, there's a lot of things to look at to say, okay, cool. And if the last hurdle to get over is to win big games, okay. That's the last hurdle.
Yep.
And you do that with talent, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, Georgia is a super talented team, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all can talk about Michigan's offense. Okay, I'm gonna let you ride on this. People just talked about Michigan's offensive line, right, against Penn State, taking the game over, right? They can't do that against Georgia. No. Go down, let them go down there and try that crap against Georgia. Georgia is going to kill Michigan if they play head up. Kill them. Because J.J. McCarthy is suspect, and you're seeing it. You don't run the ball 36 times when you know you got to do the quarterback. You don't do that.
You don't do that.
Did you see the passes he threw in the second half against Maryland?
Very questionable.
2 or 3 that should have been picked off? Nah. It's a reason why Sharon Moore is like, it's a reason why they started running the ball against Penn State, because they couldn't stop Chop Robinson on the first 3 series from hitting J.J. McCarthy. That means they're suspect as an offensive line against speed rushes. So we're not about to sit here and act like Michigan's offensive line is just perfect. They're not. Their offensive coordinator will get exposed, just like anybody else against a talented team.
They're too one-dimensional at Michigan right now.
It's like, dude, I don't have jealousy, envy left, where I look at other teams and I say to myself, oh my God, I wish I had Michigan's offensive line. Oh, I wish we had J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is not a dude. Remember when I laughed because they had J.J. McCarthy as the Heisman front runner?
With under 2,000 yards passing.
Like this dude. For me to be talking about a Chicago kid like this left, come on, man. I love my Chicago kids.
But they're just,
Yeah, he's not. He ain't it. Left, before we get out of here, C.J. Stroud, I want you to talk about this. C.J. Stroud has a defensive-minded head coach. He was asked about his 3 interceptions yesterday. He had 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, thrown for 300 yards for 3 consecutive weeks, and once again led a late touchdown drive for the victory against the Cardinals for the Houston Texans level. How might this point to Notre Dame? Well, Notre Dame also has a defensive-minded coach that and most defensive-minded coaches will tell their quarterback, just don't turn the ball over. We're going to run the ball, don't turn the ball over, and, we're going to play good defense, and that's how we're going to win games. I think D'Amico Ryans probably had that mentality until he saw what God dog. This 7 dude is all right. Oh, this Tank Dell kid is he's all right. Man, we drafted 2 playmakers. Isn't that amazing, Left?
How fast it can go.
Woo! We drafted 2 playmakers. So we maybe we don't have to just line up and run the ball and play tie defense. We can let this dude go.
We can
And
be
he has
aggressive and back him up.
and we got a Hall of Fame left tackle, so he knows he's protected on the back end. Hopefully, one of these quarterbacks can make Marcus Freeman feel like that, Left.
That's right.
Because I'm with Notre Dame fans. To this point, it feels like that Marcus Freeman is your typical head coach that's defensive minded, that just wants to run the ball, play great defense, keep it close. Now, don't turn the ball over. Now, don't take too many shots. But it's amazing how guys like Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, defensive minded head coaches, when they get really good playmakers on offense and quarterback play, it's amazing how they open up. Georgia didn't look like a closed off offense with Mike Bobo against Tennessee on the road.
Oh,
Tennessee scores like that, 75-yard run. You know what Georgia does? They rattle off like 38 to 3, a 38 to 3 run or something like that Left.
something crazy.
You know why? They got playmakers.
That's right.
Lad McConkey, Brock Bowers, Kendall Milton, Edwards. Playmakers. Do you realize Beck is the only quarterback in Georgia to start his career? He has not thrown for under 250 yards yet left.
Yeah,
He's thrown for 250 every game.
easily.
And the crazy thing left is they're finally getting healthy. They weren't even healthy all year. Now their offensive line is intact fully. That's scary. That's scary. And you're right, Matt Rackey. That's a great comment. Mike Bobo, who was much maligned the first time around as an OC, but now he has much better playmakers than he had the first time. It's
Look like a
just,
genius.
man, look. So Notre Dame, the next step, in my opinion, is winning the big games. And we've probably heard that for a long time. But you gotta have the prerequisite playmakers at quarterback, wide receiver. You just do. You just do. And as much as we want to sit here and point to every position room and coach and all that, football is real simple, man. It's real simple.
It is, and it is simple too, from the fact that when you trust your playmakers and you put them in a position to make a play,
Hmm.
coaching looks a lot more genius. I mean, I would look genius too if I was like, all right, third and what? Give it to 19. I don't care if I give it to him before the sticks or take a shot with him. I know he's going to pick it up. So that's what Marcus Freeman is missing. And I think once he finds that, you'll start to see all the things he talks about come alive more.
One of the things that I do want to point out, we'll save some of this stuff for tomorrow, but I do want to salute all the seniors that played the Super Bowl, watching Nana Asafa Menza, dude, kneeling on the field in tears. I was like, yo, that's crazy. They had to pick him up, Left. They had to come get him and pick him up and say, come on, man. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
uh, and the way he spoke about Notre Dame and what it means and what it meant to him, um, yo, this is why you're a Notre Dame fan. despite the frustrations. It's a special place, and it's a special place. It's a special set of media. Like I said, like it's a great place to cover college football, man, because there's enough meat on the bone. It just is. And regardless of what happens, you're talking to a knowledgeable fan base, man, that really loves their team and loves the game. And that's the best place to be in as anyone can be when it comes to media. We want to hear from Aldrich Estime on what could have possibly been his last game at Notre Dame.
Journey. It's been a ride, a lot of ups and downs, but I'm so blessed that I chose this place. This place honestly changed my life, honestly, for better. Like you said, I could come back. I could not. I don't know. That's not a decision I've made yet, but I'm just looking to finish these next 2 games, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this great team and with a great group of guys and great group of coaches and great refs, great media, great professors, and everyone.
We'll go to your right on the third row.
Hi, Audric.
Doing?
Did you feel any kind of wave of emotions that could potentially have been your last time walking off that field?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, definitely, because I haven't made a decision yet, but like you said, it could be potentially my last time, and I know
Yeah,
for a
you
fact
have.
it's Sam Hartman's last time. It was JD, some of the guys on the defense's last time, a lot of the seniors. So, just going hard with them the whole summer, dying and conditioning, just to be able to finish out strong like this and see the smiles on their face and see everyone's family on the field. It was just a great moment and a moment I'll remember forever.
Yo, shout out to Seven, the Incredible Hulk. I believe he's made a decision, and I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it. It'll come after the bowl game, but in the heart of hearts, the running back position, and similar to you, Left, like one of your main reasons for leaving was because of Brandon, and you didn't want to stunt his development and his opportunity. I think Aldrich sees that.
Yeah,
Waiting.
and I do think that's a huge thing because it's a sticky situation. I'm sure
Yeah,
Marcus Freeman's like, man, I would want you to come back,
right.
but damn, brother, we got Jeremiah Love, we got Aeneas Williams coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
These dudes need to take off too. And I ain't telling you can't. I don't want to be the one
Right.
to
This is
say,
home.
no, yeah.
You don't tell your kids they can't come home. They can always
I
come
can't
home.
tell you that, but I would like you to graduate, and chase that money and do all. No, they ain't love you now. You Notre Dame love you, Audrey.
Oh man.
You gotta love Notre Dame too, man, and you gotta, let us do this.
Hey,
Don't
Lucky
hold us
Lefty.
hostage, Aaron Rodgers.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's get through these grades real quick. Running back left.
Running back, it's one of those.
Just
Look,
give him an A. Aldrich went for 100, man. Just give him.
everybody got an A except that pass blocking. We know the quarterback position good for Sam to finish stronger than he started.
Yeah, but yeah, the blitz pickup for the running backs we need to improve.
That's a stick in my craw or whatever
Yeah,
they say. That's
yeah.
tough. But other than
Quarterback,
that, I mean,
quarterback A.
give Sam an A for his
Yeah.
effort against his former team. A lot of emotion and all that.
Offensive line. You giving them an A.
Got to get him an A because they're the reason.
Wide receivers. You giving the youngsters dominated. You giving them an A. Heck, everybody got loose. Tobias, Rico, Jaden, Faison.
Yeah, it's everybody gets an A on offense, man.
And look, without saying,
Um,
the Notre Dame defense has been getting. Give them an A.
listen,
Hey, let me tell you. Hey, let me tell you what stood out. Well, I tell you, it's not even coverage because we saw the 100 interception a couple of weeks ago. Did you see the wood that Christian Gray laid on Saturday? I was like, oh yeah, yeah. As much as I love Cam Hart, I can't wait to see Benji and Christian.
That's what I'm saying.
On the outside.
I love them guys, man. But
hey, give Sam Hartman one half against Stanford. Kick their butts. You saw what Cal did to them dudes. Like, this ain't no excuse. Bang them dudes, and then the entire second half, let Steve and Jelly let them rock out.
That's
Steve and
it.
Jelly needs to rock out.
And who cares what happens after this one?
Appreciate you guys. We might do a double show. I have to see what's up with Left. And you can check me out. I'm about to switch over right quick and do mailbag. Getting into some recruiting, big recruiting weekend. Did you see
That's
Ike
right.
Taylor in the picture he took with his son, Ivan Taylor?
And Mickens we trust. Go ahead,
Hey,
seal
boy.
the deal, man.
Hey, man, them Wheat Tims was fire, bro. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's just who I
He had
am.
him on.
Wheat
He had
Tims
him
can
on.
do something, bro. You, man.
Marcus
Them Wheat-
Freeman had Tim's in the office just sitting on the table like, yeah, we matching.
Love it. We'll see you guys, man. We appreciate you. Make sure that you spend it different.